Whoops. This has got 4 little bolts right here that I'll take off. I think each of these may be worth somewhere, maybe $5 or $10. Some people actually cut these open because there's copper in there, but I don't really have any good way of cutting those open. So I just sell them. I think they're called a seal. They call them a sealed unit if you take them in like that. And they don't mind if I leave all the oil and whatnot in there. This one is a size 1/2. So let me get that 1/2 on here. Shredder, some shredder tin, some 7-cent steel, some little bolts. There it is. Ooh, damn, they heavy. They heavy. They heavy, boy. My neighbors and my wife. My neighbors and my wife. Let me make sure I say it the right way. Not my neighbor and my wife's. Just kidding, bad joke. My neighbor and my wife probably wondering who I'm talking to out here. Oh. All right. Something I like to do, spread all this out. Something I like to do is I'll get this, I'll get one of these pans that they usually have under the 32 by 32. They go inside your attic or wherever your HVAC system's at, and they'll usually, I like to use these so that I don't lose my copper. I know some people do all this scrapping inside. I don't have the convenience of doing that, so I do it out here. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut off these ACR ends, cut the copper off, and then this steel right here, I'll knock it off. Because the steel, if you have it on there, it's considered a dirty copper aluminum coil. And from what I've heard, some of the other scrappers say you make more money if you take them off. So that's what I'm aiming for. One side. This other side's a little funky. I'm gonna flip it over so I don't have to get right in front of y'all. And usually I can get all this off before. Look, I'll just fold this one out of the way. Try to. Yeah, and if you look at this, this is where they charge them, right? Where they put in additional refrigerant, or they check your how much refrigerant you got in there. So that's brass. These two pieces, this is a piece of brass right here. Let me see. Piece of brass. And that pays a little less than copper, but it does pay well. So I try and get those off. The brass. Ooh, some spider webs up in there. Down here in Georgia, we got to watch out for black widows. Anyways, I'll try and get that brass off. Separate the copper. Just clean the coil. Call it a day. On to the next. And we also, I got some indoor coils too. If y'all got any interest, check my videos. I'm sure I'll end up posting one of those as well to show you how I break those down. And there you have it. I actually ended up cutting the steel off that one. I would rather cut the copper here. So I pulled these down. It's good feeling when you get to this point because you know you got a couple dollars headed your way. This one right here that you see over here, that one, if you watch my shorts, you'll see a video from where I got that one all broken down. But here's what I was gonna say, is this one, because it's got the angle where it does on this little L, I can't cut in between there. I would prefer if these little copper macaroni noodles were on the outside of this. Where's one? There's one, because if they're on the outside, then you cut these off and you can just toss these in your number 2 copper, and then you just drill, you knock the metal off. Like I said, on that other coil over there, if you watch it, that's what I did with that one. And you don't have to pull all these little macaroni noodles of copper out of this little steel, I think they call them ACR ends. I don't know what that stands for, so if one of y'all knows who's watching this, let me know. Post it in the comments below. Let's see, some other questions. If you guys are scrapping, what vehicle are you using to scrap? What trailer are you using? How do you get your leads? All right. So we got this. Some more ACRs. Also, this is a nightmare right here, you guys. I've noticed if you actually accidentally cut them and leave some of this aluminum on, this one won't do it because I'm on live or because I'm posting it. But when you try and pull it out, it can be such a nightmare to take them out sometimes. And it's like, golly, that ain't even worth it. And I know some people also, when they turn them in, yeah, see, this one's giving me fits a little bit. I know some people also, they turn them in, they cut these ends off them, and they sell these as an ACR end with these little copper macaroni noodles in them. I don't know, I ain't done that before. Let me try and separate this brass, these fill ports and stuff. Two pieces of copper. And I think these right here, if I'm not mistaken, I think that these are just nuts. I could be wrong, maybe not. Yeah, maybe they just slide out. Yeah, whoop, watch your toes. There you go, see? Brass, you see it's the yellow and it's got this little head. And then I like to use my little snips right here. Carry my snips in one back pocket and my channel locks in the other. I like to use my snips and just kind of make a little angle in it. Ooh, didn't get that one quite good enough. Okay. Separate. So brass pile, copper, number 2 copper. And I think when they pay me out for this brass, they pay it as 15%, like 85%. And I'm not sure why they do that. Get this other brass one out. Let me see if I can get it. It's got this little washer on it. Little piece of steel. 7 cents a pound. Yeah, seeing that one come right out? Of course not. There it went. So now, I think all the rest of this is just copper. So I'll just fold it up, except for this one. I'm going to cut this little piece of copper off of it. Brass, copper. The rest of this is just gonna go in my number 2 copper bin right over here. I might need to start another one. That's it. All right, y'all. Well, that about does it for this one. 15 minutes breaking that down. Not too bad. I think I usually estimate between about $30 and $50 for one of these. At our current scrap prices, I think I'm getting about $2 a pound, maybe $1.80, $1.75 for the clean aluminum coils. Somewhere about $3.50 a pound for the copper. Maybe a little more for number 1, but all mine's number 2. I used to kind of finagle them, trying to get it all number 1, and then we had a price drop at the end of the summer, and it went from like $3.50 to $2.50. And I was like, man, I would have taken that number 2 copper price for it about now. So anyways, I think that's about it. Like I said, if you guys have any interest in this content, if you got any questions for me, I'm really wanting to, like I said, do some lives when I'm out here scrapping, just see if there's any interest. I can pop over, y'all show me a little company, see what kind of questions y'all got, see if I can either help anybody out, maybe even use it as just a little online presence, a little ministry. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, let me know if you got any thoughts, any ideas. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I need 50 subscriptions so I can go live. I'm looking forward to that. I tried to go live the other day and was like, this will be easy. I'll just try it, see who's interested. And then it was like, you need 50 subscribers. I was like, that sounds too hard. So anyways, we'll see how it goes. Y'all have a great one.